We are Steven and Jill. Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steven Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Steven Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWit, broadcasting still from the road, still sitting in Northern California. Kind of northern. In the middle.
Jill and I today talk about how your success, lies within your natural state.
Not Wisconsin.
Jill is constantly confused by my titles.
I am. Are
and if
you?
she's confused, this is what I think. If she's confused, the whole listening audience must be like, what?
I know.
Because she gets me.
Normally.
She's a head start anyway.
I have a head start.
Here's the whole premise of this show.
I get you, and I like to think I complete you.
Oh my God.
Just kidding.
It's going to be one of those spiritual shows.
You're the one that wrote it.
Here's the deal. I sound like your father. You don't want to fight yourself your whole life. If you hate data and the thought of just sitting in a dark room just nauseates you, which is fine. This business model might not be for you, or if you're bent on it, find somebody like me to be your business partner. So that's the premise of this. The motivation or inspiration behind me writing this title was Jill. We were forced to do a bunch of stuff. We were forced to deal with a bunch of insurance company crap earlier this week, which turned out fine. And Jill was in her natural state. She was on the phone for probably 3 hours talking to insurance companies and car rental companies. And man, we came out way ahead, actually. And so if it were just me dealing with that, I would have gotten through it, but I would have been a pretty angry person.
Oh, gosh.
So it's not my natural state. So this really translates into being successful at whatever you're doing.
You just touched on something I was going to say real quick. Some people do this. Some people get into a business and a life. It's not their natural state, and they suffer through it their whole lives, and it makes me sad.
It makes me sad, too. The profession of a medical doctor comes to mind, because the vast majority of medical doctors I've ever seen in a professional setting, not in a social setting, are just so unhappy. I think that profession, for some reason, the academic part of it and the research part of it is so intriguing, or it is for me anyway. And then you got to deal with patients.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
I know that would be hard for you. Patience and patience. Both.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free.
But you have many, 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 many great qualities, sweetie. I'm not picking on you.
I know. I don't take it that way.
All right.
I have thick skin. That's one of them. I'm with you.
Hey, what?
I just got to zing stuff in there once in a while.
What? Okay. Actually, we're getting along. It sounds like we're like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
That's funny. Because we're not at home. This is great. We're on the road having fun. And we're not sick of each other yet.
Not yet.
Nah, next week it could change. Or tomorrow. Tiffany wrote, "Hello all. I've got maybe an interesting question. Not sure if anyone's ever dealt with this or not, but here it goes. I got a call from a seller today who wants to sell her over 4-acre property. It does have some back taxes on it, but the property actually has 2 mobile home properties still on it with a well, septic, and power to each. One used to belong to her mom and one that belonged to her aunt. They have both since passed on, but the property's in her name. However, she did disclose to me that unfortunately her aunt was actually killed in the very back part of the property in the woods." What?
How's this for a spiritual show,
Yeah.
Joe?
What? So my questions are, would that stop you from doing the deal? If not, would you disclose this information to potential buyers? Sheesh.
No, it would not stop me from doing the deal at all. And no, you don't have to disclose it.
True.
And the vast majority of the real estate laws are governed by the states for the most part. So it's a state law, state-specific thing. I don't know what state this is in. I know in Arizona and California, for whatever reason, that's just not a requirement to disclose. If there's lead-based paint in 1 square inch of lead-based paint on a house in California, there's a book you have to fill out.
Mm.
But very specifically, this murder thing, or death thing, because I really think that a lot of people die in their homes. You just don't have to disclose it.
It could have been a snake bite.
That's
Could have
very
been a
positive
bear.
of you, Jill. It could have been. It could have been death by chocolate-covered kittens and puppies.
It could have been those cute raccoons jumped her, like we saw last night. Okay. Anyway, well, let me go back. Well, also too, not that I'm trying to bend the rules, because I'm really good at bending the rules too, by the way. But I'm not an agent. I'm an investor. I buy a property. I sell a property. So one of the beautiful things about not being an agent, I don't have to do 80 million forms. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. Am I digging a hole? You're looking at me like?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait.
I'm just sharing that, even if I knew that, I don't have to share that. And
I have to disagree.
Really?
Yeah, disclosure's a big deal in real estate. If you know some stuff.
How would I know that? I buy a piece of property. Let me go back up. I buy a piece of dirt because I want to do something with it. I don't know. No one told me what was going on.
Okay, then you don't know about it. Then you don't have to disclose it. Here's my
hold
point.
on, but I read an article, and I found out what happened.
You shouldn't
in the
read
back
articles.
40.
Stop reading articles and stop. So for some reason, Tiffany knows that somebody died in the back
because
of this
the seller
property.
disclosed it.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
And how many times have you said this? Stop. I know where. This is a beautiful story. I do want to buy a property, and I think we've agreed on the price. What do you say we do the deal? I just don't want to know.
True.
Because if you can, there's
True.
all, you've heard, how settlers are, especially people that are a little bit lonely. They'll sit there and say, "Oh, the EPA came out in 1970." Oh, stop right there. I don't want to know any of this stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
You either want to buy it or you don't. So there's a line with that stuff. So the general rule in real estate is, if you know about stuff, whether you're especially if you're an agent, but if you're an owner, you need to disclose it. So don't know about stuff.
Well, there's so many circumstances. It would not just deter me anyway. It doesn't really matter.
Me either.
It could have been a disgruntled, ex, and it could have happened. It could have happened in the grocery store parking lot. It just happened to be in the woods. You know what I mean? Come on.
It's a far cry from getting licked by raccoons to death.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying. There's so many circumstances that I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I would say? How about this?
This doesn't impact anything.
No, it really doesn't. If you feel like you need to say it, like, by the way, just so you know, because I know, the person actually passed on, in the woods behind the property.
Yeah.
Just leave it at that. I don't know any details because I stopped them, and honestly, she didn't.
You don't have to disclose this at all, and
Right.
I wouldn't.
Could you imagine?
If you know there's asbestos or something, boy, you have to disclose that.
And you don't have to research and dig it up. Wouldn't it be
No.
funny? Like, here's the article. Here's the police report. No.
I'm going to say this too, and I'm going to wrap up the question here, Jill. All the social part of buying and selling the real estate and the relationships that you establish with these sellers and buyers, just cut it out. Jill's very good at cutting it off where it should never go. We're here to be professionals and buy and sell real estate and make some money. We're not here to talk about the philosophical reasons why someone might have gotten killed in the back of their property.
Right.
Ever.
Your time's valuable.
Like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So especially at live events, for some reason, there's people that have a lot of emotional stuff to say. Have you noticed that?
No.
No?
Well, I mean, not like that, but no, I just only noticed it in a very positive way. You know what? Because the two, well, we did technically 3. Did we do 3?
3.
Yeah. Live events. What the stuff that was shared with me was heartfelt. This is my situation. This is how my situation's better. Thank you.
Okay.
That's not your experience?
Yeah, it's been my experience. You know what this topic is there's a lot of stuff that goes on, especially with houses, and it fuels real estate agents, and that's at the root of why it makes me a little bit perturbed.
All right. Moving on.
To talk about window treatments and all kinds of stuff, and that's not real estate. I never got into real estate to talk about interior design.
I understand.
And that's where this is going. Like, there's a social. Do you know the history of this house? No, I don't. Today's topic, success lies within your natural state. This is the meat of the show.
I gotta add something funny about that. There has been one situation in the history of since I've known you that you did find out the backstory of a house that we lived in, and I gotta tell you, it was pretty flippin' cool.
Go ahead and share it, because I agree.
Okay. Mister, I don't really care to know the history. He's gonna eat his words right now.
I know where it's going.
Because we moved into this house by the beach, and come to find out, after we had lived there several months, we were having a party, and we met our next door neighbor. The timing doesn't matter. Anyway, she said, "Do you know who used to live here?" I'm like, no, don't have no idea. And we should have said, "Uh-oh, don't tell me."
That's what I said.
Oh,
I don't want to hear it.
Oh,
that was
like
my first reaction. I thought it was Tiffany's dead in the woods story.
Oh no, it was Quentin Tarantino and Mira Sorvino back when they were filming he was filming Jackie Brown. So, and they were there for a couple years, they said. Anyway, it was just kind of funny. Like, okay, so you're like, we're never moving. It was so funny. That was really cool. So, anyway. That was our funny thing. Okay, so success lies within your natural state.
Yeah, just give me a couple of minutes of airtime here.
Sorry. I'm all excited. I'm jacked up right now.
Every single one of us listening to this has had a job that you don't want. And you have a couple of choices. You stick around in that job until you can find a better one because you need the dough. It's every single one of us, unless you're, born with the silver spoon. In which case you're not listening to the show or watching. And so, but eventually you move on when you find a better job that you can actually swallow. Hopefully you do. Some people never do. If you start out with this career because you just want to make money, and yesterday we heard from a guy who, I think his name was Lucas, mm-hmm. who has a love for data and understands land, loves land, understands data. That's his natural state. He's going to sit there for hours and hours, forget to go to the bathroom, forget to eat, forget to bathe. And that's who I am too. I will spend 36 hours and just fall asleep at the computer on this stuff. I always have been like that, and since I was a teenager with an Apple II PC, and that's a natural state. Jill has a diametrically different natural state, and that's why we're good at this. Mm-hmm. And that's why we really, really, really excel. And I'm not bragging. I'm saying, I can give you name after name after name of people in our group that have they started, and 4 months later, they're making $1 million a month. Yeah. And if you ask them, they said, well, no, it was never really the money part. Although I do want to, become independently wealthy through doing this. But no, it's the data piece, or in Jill's case, it's the sales piece, or what is it for you? I mean, how would you describe it? Because whatever it is, you have it.
It's the deal piece. Whether it's talking on the phone or emailing or something like that, it's just the getting the deal secured piece. Once we secure it and we shook hands and we have a price, I know what's going to happen, and then I lose interest. I'm like, okay, now it's in the system. Close a deal. Let me know how it goes. Whatever. I'll see. I'll watch the numbers. But it's just that initial deal. When it comes in, I want to know who responded. What did they think? Do I call them? What did they say? Okay, here's what I'm going to counter with, or what they countered with. I'm going to look at that. It's just all of that. And it's funny that I have to, this is what I was thinking about this show. One of the hardest things for me has been to convey to you, and I have to remind you sometimes, is that, no, Steven, I like talking on the phone. You're like, you don't have to do this. You're so sweet. You are always saying this, sweetheart, you don't have to work this hard. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. And I'm like, whoa. I like it. It's the stuff that I like doing.
I can't count and this is a compliment, I can't count the number of times where we've been somewhere and she'll take a phone call. The software that we have for the phones, you can see whether it's a business call or a personal call, and she will leave the environment and come back 45 minutes later and say, okay, I got that deal done in Santa Barbara County. And we're going to make $500,000, and I'm like, you got to stop doing this. Yeah, we're making $500,000. I get it, but and I'm not complaining or yelling or I'm not.
Like, your food's cold.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I just
I'm
don't.
like,
I don't
care.
want. Like, you don't need
He's
to do
like,
this.
you don't have to eat cold food. You know, we have people that can answer the phone.
She just loves it.
No, I want to do that.
So I mean, I totally respect that. That's how I know that we're in the right business.
It's true.
Jill and I have bought and sold other businesses where it's just not. It's not in our soul.
It's true.
And fortunately, gotten out of all of them whole, and most of them made some pretty good money on. But this, for whatever reason, this business, not even Land Academy and teaching or this podcast, but buying a piece of land, doing the data part on the front end, and reselling it as a team.
Right.
It's my natural state, and I think it's yours too.
It is.
So, my point is, whoever you are, whatever stage you are in this, you really need to have a real honest conversation with yourself about what your natural state is. Very few people have both. Luke Smith has both. He's a natural salesman, and he gets. Luke Smith is a member of ours, and he gets the data piece pretty well. It's very rare to have both. Partnerships are better, I think. And we have many examples of members who are either married or they have a business in different states. We know this because we do consulting calls and we do it with both people, and they have separate questions for us.
You're right. When there's two of you and you have a different things that you love, you can do that much more. If it was me doing both, I'd be doing half this, half that. I have to keep taking this hat off, where I can focus and get a lot more done. And you can focus and get a lot more done.
Right.
It works out great. Happy you could join us today. Every day, Monday through Friday, you can find us right here on the Land Academy podcast show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy show is called The Disconnect Between Seasoned Real Estate Professionals and Blind Offers. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
The disconnect.
Seasoned real estate investors.
I'm writing this down.
Picture this in your head. They've got gray hair like me. They know it all. They think they know it all. They bought, look at my fast cars and my big house I bought and sold. And then you start to talk about a blind offer campaign, and they shake their heads and say, listen, youngster, I got a thing or two to tell you about how and why you're doing this wrong. To which I say, listen, boomer, congratulations, you made the time cutoff
exactly
in the real estate industry because your time's passed. And that's just how it is.
The Land Academy show remains commercial free for you, our loyal listeners. So wherever you're watching, wherever you're listening, please subscribe and rate us there.
We're Steven Jill. Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.